Hey everyone, welcome on this week's training. Okay, we are going to be talking about how to reverse engineer your content creation strategy. So, if you want your day to day posting to stop stressing you the F out, then listen up because that's what we're going to talk about today. For over a year, I was thinking that I needed a new piece of content every single day of every single week. And let me just tell you, if you are operating under that impression, I can promise you, you're feeling burnt out. You're feeling a lack of ideas and inspiration. And you're just like, I'm so fucking over having to figure out what to post every day. Right? Like, am I right? Because I know I was there and I was thinking to myself, like, there's got to be a better way. I'm listening to mentors, I'm hiring business coaches, I'm watching what other people are doing. And why is it so hard? It really doesn't have to be. So it really comes down to perspective and shifting your focus to one that might be a little hard to comprehend the first go around. I still have actually, I just had a conversation the other day with somebody that has been in business coaching programs with me. She's been along for the ride for like well over a year. And just the other day, she goes, I think I finally get it. I think I finally get the whole idea of how to repurpose content and do it in a way that feels really aligned with me and also feels like I'm offering tons of value to my audience and I'm getting the message out that I want to get out. And she's like in the flow and she feels really, really good. So sometimes it takes a little minute, but consistency is what will always get you there. So back in January of this year, I decided there had to be a better way, and I was going to create content in just in a whole new way for myself, in a way that I had not been doing for well over a year prior. So, what I decided in January was I decided on doing once a month, having sort of a big idea, a sort of go to event, either maybe a workshop or a free training, or maybe I would have a new offer that I would be promoting, or maybe I would have a new product launch, like whatever that is, I would decide, okay, each month I'm going to have sort of this big concept, this big idea. And then throughout the entire month, all of the content that I create is going to point in that direction. It's going to become the natural progression of where the conversation goes, of where I drive the audience to, right? Then on top of that, there's sort of the day to day posting that is sort of in my lane. So I like to call these content pillars, and I only post Monday through Fridays. If I post on Saturday, Sunday, it's just because I feel like it. Maybe I'm out doing something and I just like snap a picture and, make a post. But I don't schedule or have the intention of doing anything on social on Saturdays and Sundays. I would highly recommend that you at least pick one day out of the week to take a break for your own sanity. But it actually kind of helps the algorithm too when you reset. That's a whole nother conversation. But what I did in January was I decided, okay, I'm going to have 5 sort of ongoing themes of things that are aligned with me, things that are about me, things that are about my business. And these are the things that I'm going to post about Monday through Friday. And I'm going to stick to it unless I get a light bulb of inspiration or something sort of one off happens in life or business. Then I can maybe make 2 posts that day, or I can just swap out what I normally would have posted about with something new. But having these content pillars, it allows you to just streamline the whole process and it gives you a template to work off of. So that way you're not waking up on a Tuesday going, oh, I don't know what to post about. Like, I don't know. I feel so uninspired. I'm not sure what to post about. Like, should I just post, about how I mixed my energy drink again? Like, I feel like I just did that the other day. Are these conversations you're having with yourself? Like, put in the comments below because I know these are conversations that are being had. I was having them myself. And tons of the women that I come into contact with that are in my coaching programs, that are inside of the Social Jane community, we have these conversations and it is an ongoing struggle. So that's why today's training I really wanted to bring to you guys and just have a real conversation about it. So as I'm doing this recording, I deleted the notification this morning, but I want to say it said that I was at 238 days of increased engagement. So when I made this decision in January that I would take my 5 content pillars and I would use those as my template for posting Monday through Fridays, and each month I would have sort of a big idea, a main focal point of the month that I would kind of gear all of my content and conversation in that direction. I would drive traffic to that thing. Ever since I started doing that, I have been getting almost daily a notification from Facebook that I have increased engagement. And that doesn't mean that every single post that I do has 70 hearts and, 50 comments. It doesn't. Like, some of them have 2 comments. Some of them have 27 comments. Like, it really, the vanity metrics don't fucking matter. Stop worrying about those. Do the work, show up, connect. The rest will happen all on its own. Do not worry about the vanity metrics. So the only reason I even mention the increased engagement is to show you that it works. That when you really stop focusing on, well, how many likes did it get? Did anybody share it? How many views did it get? How many comments did it get? I don't look at any of that. What I do is I show up consistently Monday through Friday. I do a live once a week, and I'll typically, at least a couple months ago, I was doing like a monthly workshop. I decided to shift my focus in my business because those weren't feeling as aligned to me anymore. But having that very specific intention and staying very consistent with the work, that created increased engagement. Not me sitting on my feed, scrolling and commenting and scrolling and commenting and doing that for hours on end every single day. That is not what got me increased engagement. That is a lie that people are telling you if they say that in order to have good engagement, you need to be spending hours on social. You don't. In my opinion, it's a waste of your time. It is not a money-making activity. Having conversations with people is. So if you're in other people's feeds to comment on their stuff and to engage with them, it should be with the intention of taking that engagement and making it into a conversation. Because if you're just there to say like, oh, so cute. Oh my God, congrats. Honestly, it's kind of a waste of your time. Because where is that conversation going? And I'm not saying those are not worth doing. Like, I pop into socials and I do that every so often. But to be completely transparent, I really, really am not commenting and getting into my feed. What I'm doing is getting into Messenger, and I'm actually talking to people. I'm having conversations with them. I'm replying back to comments that are on my content, and I'm replying back to them, and I'm taking it into Messenger, or I'm going onto their page and furthering the conversation. Money comes from people. So keep that in mind. So, okay, we've got about 230-ish days of increased engagement, but this will only work if you stay consistent. So you really have to identify what those content pillars are going to be for you, and then stick to it. Give yourself 30 to 60 days to just see how this strategy works. Now, everybody's content pillars are going to be different. What I started out with in January, it's been tweaked a little bit. I would say it was about maybe 90 days in when I started to kind of tweak it just a little bit and change it up, like change up a day here, a day there. So in January, I didn't have my podcast going yet, right? Positive by Design was not even a thing yet. It was something that was like still a brainchild. But in February, I had the podcast. So now I have something that I want to promote at least one day out of the week. What day is that going to be? And what does that mean for my content pillars that were already in place? Right? So originally I had like on Mondays, I was posting some sort of inspirational quote or something of the sort. On Tuesdays, I would do kind of like a little check-in where maybe there's a little bit of a harsh truth, or there's like a question asked, or it's a little bit of internal reflection, things like that. Wednesdays usually would be some sort of engaging, just a super simple question, like get it out there. And I have been utilizing the actual Facebook, like just the colored background kind of thing. Because Facebook likes you to just use the platform. Don't always be posting a graphic or some sort of design. Like they like pictures of you or just text as a post. Those can get really good engagement. So I make sure to do one of those a week. And I was doing it on Wednesdays and I'm still doing it on Wednesday. Thursdays, I forget what it was in January, but now it's my podcast. Every Thursday, I promote the podcast because on Wednesdays it airs. So Thursday, I share the link, I share the video, I share the reel, I share some of the copy that I write that goes into the email that promotes it. Like I create one thing and I make multiple pieces of content out of it. Like if you haven't noticed, if you get all of my stuff, if you get my emails, if you're in Social Jane, if you are on my YouTube channel, if you're on my main profile on Facebook, if you're on Instagram, you will notice that some of the copy, some of the audio, some of the video, it's all a little bit of the same. I don't create something new every single time for every single platform. I would be so fucking burnt out. Like, no. Work smarter, not harder. So staying consistent and having that shift in perspective, it's going to be life changing for you. So you definitely do not need a new piece of content every day of the week forever and ever. You just don't. And on top of that, you can be recycling your content every 90 days or so. Because let's be real, who in your network 90 days ago is in the same place in your network as they are right now? Probably very few of them. Some of them have moved down the pipeline. Some of them have weeded themselves out. Some of them are brand spanking new. So every 90 days, you can recycle the ideas that you posted 90 days prior. And maybe that means you just simply copy and paste and you repost it, right? Or maybe something has changed for yourself or for your business. And so you just sort of adjust it a little bit. So you take the idea, oh, okay, well, on Monday, 90 days ago, on this Monday, this is what the quote I used. It's still relevant, but my branding has changed a little bit. So let me just like get into Canva, change it up a bit, and then post the same quote. But it looks totally different because it's on a totally different design. And maybe you even put a few extra little things in there that amp it up a little bit, right? You can add or remove something to create a different vibe. But the idea was the same. You didn't have to come up with anything new. It was there for you. So there are some tools in place that, if you're not utilizing something like Trello or even just a Google sheet like doc, right? It's essentially like a Word doc. You could copy and paste anything that you post, images, the text, all of it could go right into a Google Doc, and you could have tabs that are like, this was June, this was July, this was August. So, okay, come September, let's go back to June. What did you post in June? What out of that content do you want to reuse, if any of it, right? So, yeah, don't overthink it. Like, use what you have. When you have those moments of inspiration, put that shit somewhere. Like, don't just let it live on your social media platforms. Put it inside of a Google Doc, put it in a Trello board. I'm going to be showing you here in a minute one of the new platforms that I'm starting to use. And this does have a built-in social content scheduler. But this is like an all-in-one platform. So if you're brand spanking new to things, like this is probably not where you're ready to be yet. It'll be a little overwhelming. But doing something like a Google Doc, you absolutely could do that. And it's really simple. I've been doing that for some of my stuff. So, all right, what we're going to talk about first is how to reverse engineer your hero content. So, hero being the big idea. So, how I said, before I was doing some workshops and things of that nature once a month, that was the hero content. So let's say, for example, um, okay, let's see, we're halfway through August. So let's say in September, my hero content, the big idea, the focal point of the month is going to be the launch of my website. Let's just say that, right? Because right now I'm building my website on this new platform that I was just telling you about. So let's say in September, the main big focal point, the thing that I want to be advertising the most, marketing the most, promoting the most, talking about the most, driving traffic to the most would be my shiny new website. This thing I've been working so hard on, right? So maybe for you, it's a workshop, it's a masterclass, it's a free training, it's a new product launch, it's some sort of new offer that you have, some sort of value. It could be a new freebie that you're launching, right? So let's say September, I've got my website's launching and I want all of the content to be pointing in that direction. So what I'm going to do is for 4 or 5 weeks, right? Depending how many weeks are in the month that you're talking about, each of those weeks can have its own little pared down version of that big piece of content. So if my big piece of hero content is the launch of my website, then maybe each of those weeks I could be featuring one of the pages on my website and how I built it out and all of the elements that go into it. Right? So, week one, let's talk about the homepage and how important a homepage is for a website and how fantastic it can be a salesperson for you, right? What kind of information should you be putting on a homepage? What type of links should be there? What type of interactions should be there? How should people feel when they arrive on your homepage, right? So that can be week one. Well, week two, the main focus could be your about page and how important it is to have a bio that really tells your story and that helps people get to know you. But with each of these weeks, as I break down that big piece of hero content, each of these weeks, what I am telling people, hey, look for my big launch. This website is coming. At the end of this month, you're going to be seeing my website fully launched and fully operational. And these are all the bits and pieces of it that you're getting to see along the way. I can't wait to show you the full finished product at the end of this month. So this is an idea, right? This is just an example that I'm giving you. You could do this with a workshop. If you've got a workshop that is um, like a morning routine. Let's say you're going to do a free 3-day workshop on how to create your perfect miracle morning. Because everybody's morning is different, right? Like I'm not a morning person. I don't like to do anything in the morning. I usually I don't schedule calls or anything like that before 10 a.m. I need a minute. So everybody's mornings are different. So let's say you have a workshop for the perfect miracle morning for you. All right, well, that's the big hero piece. That's the big idea. Each week, let's talk about it a little bit. Let's drive people to it. Let's get a registration page made, right? A landing page. Hint, hint, go watch last week's training. I show you how to build a landing page. Capture their emails, get them funneled into your group, get them somewhere. So when you do this workshop at the end of the month, they're already in that container. They're ready to go. And all you have to do is click go live and share and educate and inspire and all the things. So that's what reverse engineering your hero content can look like. Now, within that, you've got those content pillars. And these are sort of just the templates that help you day to day on what direction that day's post is going to look like. So maybe once a week, you do a reel. And maybe for you, a reel means that you repurpose 60 seconds from a full video clip. And that's your reel for the week. That's what I do. I don't dance and sing and lip sync and all the things. I don't do that. You go back to well over a year ago, I was doing that because everybody else was doing it and I didn't know what the hell I was doing. And I hated it. But if it's for you and that's what you love to do and you want to lip sync and dance and all the things, go fucking do it. Live your best life. Do that if it makes you happy. But maybe your content pillars is once a week, you're going to do a reel and the reel is going to be about XYZ. right? Maybe your reel is about how you love to garden. Maybe it's a once a week reel with a recipe. Maybe it's a once a week reel that is repurposing audio or video from a podcast or a live, right? That is one of the content pillars. So then let's say another week or another day of the week, you have sort of inspiration, motivation. Okay, well, do a quote, do some sort of copy from a book that you read, share a story about something you heard or listened to. But all of these things can be pointing towards that hero content. So maybe your quote, right? It's still just a quote, right? Monday, it's just a quote, but maybe that quote has something to do with a miracle morning because that's your hero piece of content. Maybe that quote has something to do with why it's so important for self-care. That points to a miracle morning. So do you see what I'm doing here? This is connecting the dots. It's making it super simple. It's making what you're doing very logical. So when people see it, there's no guessing. They're just like, oh, yes, 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 and yes. Okay, I'm there. I'm here. I'm seeing the thing and I love it. It all made sense. Because that's really what people want is when they show up into your socials and they're looking at all your content and all the stuff, they want it to feel natural. They want it to feel comfortable, to have it make sense. If you're all over the place, just ping ponging all over the place, that's frustrating for people because when they show up on your socials, they're just like, well, what kind of crazy shit is she going to be talking about today? It's like whiplash. Nobody really likes it. Like it might be kind of exciting at first because people are like, whoa, what's she up to now? But eventually people get sick of it. Like people like consistency. They like to be able to trust that when they engage with something, they know what to expect. Like it's just human nature. We're conditioned to want to trust what we're interacting with and the people that we're doing business with and things like that. So if you are building a business online, I would highly suggest you get consistent, stay consistent, and let it work for you. Because if you're bouncing all over the place and you're changing your mind every 5 minutes, why do you think somebody would want to work with you? You can't be trusted to stick to something, right? It's kind of a harsh truth. So, we don't, I don't filter myself around here, as you can clearly tell. So, all right. So that's the hero content and sort of breaking them down into sub ideas. I hope that really makes sense for you guys. This can be a little overwhelming if you are new to content creation. I know that 2 years ago, when I was first hearing concepts like this and people speaking in this manner, I was like, whoa, pump the brakes. I need to talk about these content pillars and decide like, do I want to talk about how I have gray hair or like my dog or a recipe? Like, I don't know what the hell to talk about, right? So, what I would suggest, and this is something that I know one of my clients, Anna, will probably watch this video. And when I worked with her, we're just wrapping up our coaching actually here pretty soon. She's about to graduate. But a couple months back, we were having this conversation about content. And when I was sharing with her sort of that hero piece of content, the big idea, the big umbrella, and then paring everything down from that, it was like a week or two later, and she sent me something in Messenger, and she's like, I can't believe how much easier this makes it. There's so much less stress. I'm not anxious every day. I know what I'm going to post about because all I really had to think about was one idea for the month. I just had to come up with one good idea. And then the rest of it was just pared down. It was just bits and pieces of that idea that made each week sort of the focal point. And then I just sort of posted about it a couple times throughout the week and then threw in a couple pics of, my family or a recipe that I love or a quote or something of the sort. Like it stayed very on brand. It stayed very aligned and it stayed very, very simple. Keep it simple. Do not overthink this. So the content pillars and all of the hero content, what I would suggest after watching this training, give yourself a minimum of 30 days. I would suggest 60 before you make any adjustments. Decide on your 5 content pillars. I would suggest having at least one of them be personal. That could be maybe one of the days out of the week, you share about something personal in your life, whether that be just you, whether that be your kids, you and your spouse, taking a vacation, like something personal that's just simply about you and how you're living your life. Like people are interested in seeing what's going on with you. Nobody is a perfect facade. So, talk about the things that, if you're having a hard day or any of those kinds of things. But I would suggest one of your pillars be personal. Now, if you are building a business online, definitely make one of your pillars business. And this does not mean constantly saying, wouldn't you like to pump gas and know that you have extra money in your pocket? Yeah, of course, everybody wants that. Um, Talk about like the benefit of the benefit. If someone was to get in business with you, if someone was to join your network marketing business, start their own business, get into, hire you as a coach or a mentor, hire you for your services that you have, what would that mean for them? How would that change their life? How would that change their day to day? What is the benefit of the benefit? So let's say you're talking about your network marketing business and you're on your business day that you're going to make a post and you want to talk about extra income. Okay, well, what does that actually mean if someone has extra income? Well, I mean, it could mean loads of things, and that's when really knowing your dream client comes in handy, because that'll really determine what direction you point the conversation. But it's kind of like peeling back those layers. Okay, so I have more money, but what does more money mean? Does it mean I actually get more time with my family because I can work less hours at my job? Does it mean that my kid can go to extracurricular activity that I've been telling them no, like for the past 3 summers? So really knowing your dream client is very important work. I'll do another training on that because I know that that's an ongoing struggle as well as content creation. But when you know who you're talking to, it really makes creating the content that much easier. So let's see, we've got personal, we've got business. Now the other three, honestly, it's always up to you. You're the owner of your business, right? This is just me giving you suggestions for things that I know have worked for me and have worked for other people. This is not me telling you what to do. I've been in some circles of people that they think, what they say is the end all be all. And I'm sorry, but not every strategy works for every person. So I will never, ever coach you in that manner. But those other 3 days, do what feels right to you. Talk about a product if you're in a product business, right? But do it in a way of, what is the benefit of the benefit? If I am taking this product, how is it enriching my life? How can it in turn enrich yours? If you're going to be talking about your services, same kind of situation, right? Showcase, be the example. Like if you were telling people that you're a weight loss coach, you should be on a weight loss journey, or at least having had success with your own weight loss journey, or be in the middle of it and sharing your vulnerabilities of what's working and what's not. If you're a money coach, you better be making money. If you're a relationship coach, you better have some good relationships. If you're a branding consultant and designer, you better be good at branding and design and have a good eye for it, right? Like be the example. That's what being a true leader is. I'm getting a little off topic. I'm so sorry. So actually, I'm not sorry. It's good conversation. So what I'm going to show you really quickly before we sign off is 2 things. I'm going to show you how you can schedule a post inside of Facebook. I know some people may not be aware that this is a feature. When I am on the laptop, it is not a feature for me. When I am on my phone, it is. Why that is the case, I don't know. Facebook likes to do whatever the hell they want. So I'm going to go into my main profile. All right. So here I am. So let's go down to what's on your mind. We're going to do, let's just say, I'm going to grab a photo real quick. So I actually just got in the mail yesterday. I'll show you guys. I haven't posted about it yet, but I am a certified Ignited Life coach. I just finished my Ignited Life coaching program. It was a 12-month business coaching and like mentorship. And I just graduated from it. Essentially, it finishes like officially in September, but I just got my certification. I'm all done with it. I haven't posted about it yet, but let's say I want to post about it tomorrow. So I've got this up, and then, obviously write some copy, whatever, like put some words here. And then when you click on next, you'll see where it says post now or schedule for later, right? So when you click schedule for later, you can pick whatever date and time you want. So, just toggle, pick a different date. You can go up to 30 days out. So most of the time, like all of those little Wednesday kind of just text on a color block, most of all those Wednesdays, those are scheduled out like minimum 30 days in advance because you can only do 30 days on here. But yeah, you don't have to publish now. You can schedule for later. This is my personal profile. So you can also do this. Let me discard that. Let's say you have a group, right? Same thing in the group. When you're there, instead of clicking next, the schedule option is right here where one of these little blue like tiles are, and you just click on schedule and you do the same thing. Like it's so super simple. And if for some reason you don't have these functions, honestly, what I would suggest is going to your setting or going to like the apps and just updating the Facebook app. See if it allows you to then have that feature. And if not, well, you might just be shit out of luck because Facebook, they didn't even give me Facebook Reels until like 3 months ago, when 2 years ago I was talking to people that were like, oh, Facebook Reels, so amazing. I'm like, what are you talking about? I don't have that. So hopefully you have it. Maybe you don't, but you know what? It's not the end of the world because you could use something like a Google Doc where you have the date, you have the copy that you're going to write, you have the photo that you're going to use if there's a photo, and then every single day you just wake up and you boop, copy, paste into Facebook and post, right? Now with Instagram, there is not a schedule feature for my profile. It's not something that's available to me. So my all-in-one platform that I am utilizing it does have a schedule feature. So I'm going to show you guys really quickly what that can look like. Let me present my screen so I can actually show you that. Let's see, entire screen. Okay. So let's go over here and I'm going to go to automation. So this is called Go High Level. It does have a really fantastic built-in affiliate program as well. So that's pretty amazing. So over here on marketing, you click on social planner and you get all your stuff like, connected, all your socials. So I was able to connect my group, my business page, my Instagram, LinkedIn, and my TikTok, all from here. For some reason, it won't do your main like private Facebook profile, but that's fine because I have the schedule feature on my phone, right? So if I want to go create a new post, I select my accounts. Now, obviously, if it's going to be something like a reel, then I can only use Instagram and TikTok. It doesn't post Facebook reels. I don't know why. So let's say I wanted to do just a static standalone reel post. Obviously, TikTok, I'm not going to include that because it's not going to be video. But I've got all of these different platforms here, and it's going to show me what it's going to look like. Isn't that kind of neat? Like it gives you the layout of what it'll look like when you get everything in. So we'll just say example post to schedule. You can add hashtags. You can even do like saved hashtag groupings. You can tag people. And then of course you can add video and images. So let's just say we're going to use this one. And you'll see what it'll look like on the other platforms. And so it may or may not work on some of these, right? Like you see how on Instagram, it kind of looks a little funky. It gets the black here. So I might want to use a different photo because I know on Facebook, it'll still work. It'll grab like a whole square. So you would want like something slightly different. But just for the purposes of the example here, and you would write all of your copy that you want. And then instead of going to, let me hide that, save for later or post, you click on this little arrow and you schedule it. Like, hello, what went out on my Instagram today actually was scheduled like 2 weeks ago inside of this platform. So it's pretty nifty. And you can also do, let me uncheck these. You can also do, like, let's say Instagram is the only place I wanted to go. You could schedule stories. Like, whoa. There are a few elements that don't work. So personally, I don't use this for stories. I don't think it's worth it. I like to just go in and post stories when I want them. But you could, right? There's always an option. So those are the two ways that I'm scheduling stuff out. And personally, the Google Doc is totally fine to do that because you can just copy and paste each day. So I hope this was really helpful for you guys. Definitely, get inside of the Social Jane community. If you're watching this not on Facebook, inside of Social Jane, go get yourself inside of there. The links are in my bio, and in the guide section, you can binge watch like all of our past trainings. They live inside of that group. It's like a resource library for you. Last week, we were talking about how to build a landing page with an automated email sequence. I showed you step by step how to do that. Week before that, you got a step by step how to build your own quiz to use as a lead magnet. Like, there's some good shit in there. So I hope that you found this helpful, and it's time to stop stressing out about your posting, about your content, right? Let's work smarter. Let's not work harder. Reach out to me if you have any questions about this. And I'm always doing some ongoing trainings or coachings inside of the Social Jane community. So get yourself inside. All right. See you next time.